Welcome to Sat Chats, the Bitcoin podcast where we chat about sats. Sats are the smallest part of a Bitcoin, the same way pennies are the smallest part of a dollar. With Sat Chats, we are building the world's biggest Bitcoin welcome center to serve as your gateway to generational wealth. So if you are a Bitcoin beginner, maybe if you have no Bitcoin at all, we want to chat about sats with you. Head to satchats.com, your slot in the studio today. I'm your host, Stuart Bitcoin Maxi, who wears prescription sunglasses to protect you and your loved ones from my blazingly hot, solar flare-esque Bitcoin laser eyes.
And I am your co-host, Chris, founder and CEO of Ithaca Hummus, Bitcoin smash buyer and proud multi-coiner.
Let's go. Bing, bing, bing. Smash the like and subscribe the same way Chris smash buys Bitcoin every time you do. A new Bitcoiner gets his laser eyes. And I think our guest today might have some of his own laser eyes. We're going to find out. Today we have for you satillionaires out there listening on Spotify and YouTube, Renee. Renee came to us through, I think, was it Podmatch, Renee? How'd we get you?
I think Aisha.
Aisha.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Nice.
I believe this is the first time we've had a guest on the show who was referred by another guest.
Pretty awesome.
And that is an awesome milestone. We love that. Big ups to number 11, Aisha. Here comes number 22, Renee, who's exactly double. So we love that.
No.
So how do you know Aisha?
Well, like in 2020, I think so, I decided to move. When the pandemic hit, I decided to go away from here because as an artist, I'm an artist, a visual artist, and I don't like people tell me what to do. Or keep me inside a room because I don't believe like much in things, but I just want to be here. I just start traveling, and I went to Miami. When I arrived to Miami, it was like this fever of Bitcoin. I started seeing like a shares of Bitcoin and everything, and I didn't know anything about. And it was another guy that it was friend. I have friends, and I was working at that time selling spices and tea, and these people arrived to that place, and they have an activity next to the shop, and they say he's an artist, and they, oh hey, how are you? And start talking. He says like, man, you're really cool person, you good artist, and I have tomorrow a conference, like Bitcoin conference. You're coming with me. Don't worry, you don't have to pay anything. You my guest. And I was like, what Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin? I don't understand. So he brought me to the party, and we start talking and everything. Probably in a month period, they they did the first bit bezel, like art basel, bit bezel with Bitcoin, and I was one of the 13 artists for that show. So they going to sell art with Bitcoin, and that's the first regret of not taking Bitcoin for me.
Okay.
Because I didn't know anything about it, and I sell a painting for $4,000, and this company, it will take percentage of the price, of the sales, if I sell it through Bitcoin. But I instead, because I was needing the money because I was traveling, I don't have any cash or anything to survive at the time. I didn't sell through Bitcoin. I just get the cash through another thing. I mean, I will spend the money anyway at that time because I was traveling and I had money to invest. So I didn't get the Bitcoin, but after that, I decided to say like one of the guys come after the show, and he said you should open an account. You should open an account. You should buy some Bitcoin, and I did the thing through the MetaMask because we're doing the NFT. And after that, somebody comes to me and he says like, how much are you painting? And I said, like, I think it was like $20. It was like very, like, kind of this size. I was like drawing something here. Um, and he said, like, I would like to buy you one. Like, what about, I'm going to give you $300 in Ethereum. And I said, I don't have account. He said, it's okay. Let me open your account. He opened the account, and he sent me the $300 on Ethereum. And I was so excited. I sent $50 to my niece, to my cousin. I distributed all the Ethereum also because I didn't understand. I don't understand what's going on, and I just want to share this new idea, and I just want to get involved with many people. So for the big vessel, I went over there to set up my painting when I see Aisha, and Aisha was walking, and she was very excited, interviewing people, and he started interviewing me. And she said, "What do you think about Bitcoin?" I said, "I do have a sensation. I don't know what Bitcoin is, but I feel like, when people before they have cash, the last thing they do is they have cash, and when they're becoming as a credit card, they were so scared to put the cash because where is my money? How I can use a credit card? And I was feeling that transition. It was exactly the same, but it's like you shouldn't be scared. You should try and you should learn to the process because it's new for everybody. So I wanted to get into the experience, and I that also to people all the time. Don't be scared. Just be adventurous. Try. You don't have to put $1 million, or I don't know. You just get a little bit, $50, $100, 300, whatever you can. But I want you to talk also.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is great. I mean, it sounds like you met Aisha in Miami during the pandemic while she was down there doing all those Bitcoin events, and there was like I think the conference was held in Miami around that time,
Hmm.
and it's just wild that you two know each other. I love that. So, to all our previous guests, bring people you know onto the show because
Absolutely.
this is fantastic.
Well, I
Um,
just I just refer another guy to you. He um, we're really good friends, and he was the first to start talking before I'm going to Miami. He was talking about NFT, and he was talking getting to NFT, Renee, getting to NFT, and I don't understand what is that. He said doesn't matter, you should try, and you should get Bitcoin. He started telling me about Bitcoin. So the referral is to this guy who knows about Bitcoin before me. But he told me like you shouldn't invest because investment is for people who has do not that money to put in there and leave it there. But I said, like, don't tell me what to do because I want to try. I want to learn. And we did get into Bitcoin with my friends. I buy some Bitcoin when it was 65,000.
okay.
Yeah. And then with my best friend, he is from Pennsylvania. He would say like, we are very stupid, don't we? And I said like, no, we're not. We're learning. So because to learn, sometimes you have to lose something. Because we sell some of the Bitcoin, and then it was the second regret, into like doing that. But now, like you get into the picture because at the beginning it was like you don't know what it is, but I wanted to try, to understand this new concept and everything, like little by little learning. Because also you have to delete all the information that you have about money into this currency, the new currency that is happening now, and how you can be part of that too, because it's important. Like more people get into that, more value um, you add into it. So for me, it was a really cool experience when I was in Miami. It was like trying to go to every event that I can, even I don't understand what's going on.
So, I love hearing you talk about your regrets because you kind of have a healthy approach to it, and Aisha did too, where it's like, hey, I guess some people probably get really consumed by the fact that they didn't buy Bitcoin early enough, or they bought Bitcoin and they sold it too early. And the fact of the matter is, no one gets Bitcoin the first time they see it. and everyone has their own learning curve. And it's important for us to teach beginners that it's okay to go ahead and get some Bitcoin now. Just like you said, you don't have to become a Bitcoin maxi and go out and get your pair of prescription sunglasses like I did. You can buy $50 a month. And over the years, that $50 a month, every month, every month, every month, will turn into something pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, we kind of went into your Bitcoin story a little bit to learn about your connection to Aisha down there in Miami in the 2020s, 2021 space. But, take us through your Bitcoin story from start to finish for all the Satillionaires out there listening. You mentioned some guy was the first one to talk to you about Bitcoin. Was he your best friend in Pennsylvania who did that?
No, it was my friend here in Connecticut.
Okay. So
And
he was the first person who ever talked to you about Bitcoin.
yeah, I, I'm, I come from like very, I'm from Guatemala, and I was born and raised there. I graduate over there, and I come here because I don't like a stable jobs. I like to risk, and I like to trying to live my life to the fullest, and um, I don't want to be comfortable. And I always trying to look for the new things. I was thinking in the future that my problem is I'm too ahead and everything. Um, and so for me, when something like that is coming, for me it's like, oh my God, this is so cool because I want to be part of the movement. I just don't want like people tell me what's going to happen. So I want to experience because I think that's the reason you're here. To experience whatever is happening around you. That's the only way you can know. Like people can tell you, but if you don't have like even $10, you don't know how it works. And after that, I get some. I think I had to cash out the Bitcoin money because I was living in my car at that time because I used to run an art gallery. The gallery closed for the pandemic, and I get into a big debt. And now I don't have a place to stay, so I have all my stuff in the back of my car. And I was like that for 1 year. So it was when I was traveling to Miami, Nashville, Los Angeles, Vegas. It was really cool city. So sometimes like you get too comfortable here, and like I don't want it to live my life just working because I see how many people die working, and like they're hard workers, but that doesn't take you anywhere. And what I start seeing like with like how people investing, because even like saving don't take you anywhere. And for me, like just surrounding me with people who are investors and have a different mentality, I was like trying to catch up, and they were like, "Rene, relax." And I was like, "No, I want to know." And they was like, "No, I can give you some." I was like, "No, don't give me any. I don't want you to give me cash, because I want to learn. Like I want to set up an account. I want to take a risk. I want to learn, because if not, I'm doing anything. Like I'm here to learn, because that way I also can teach somebody else, share my knowledge, guide other people. But like they just give me money, give me some cash. I don't want that. I'm going to spend it. I don't want you to spend the money. Um, but that's something that I learned through him. It was like investing, that's when your money going to get results. They're going to give you more. And it was like I never understand that part. Like your money had to work for you, not you for your money. And so at that time was like I was doing that, so I had to cash some of the money that I put in Bitcoin. I didn't understand. I just see that I was like going back and forth, but like I don't understand what's happening. But then I started seeing, like when you're saying, when like the prices go down, well, I buy some Bitcoin, but I never sell it. So I'm trying to see my records like when I buy because I have Coinbase. So I trying to see when the price goes down or like close what the lowest price that I buy, so I buy more and like even it can be $50, $25, $100 or whatever, and I just it has to stay there. And I have many I know many people and especially bankers and now we've been talking to them because I said, well, why banks don't talk about this? Why bank doesn't give, like education about this, And they were telling me some reasons, but they always said to me, just don't sell it, just keep it, and you're going to see biggest result probably in about 4 years more.
Hmm. I've
So
heard it too. Where you need to be prepared to buy and hold for 4 years to take advantage of that Bitcoin cycle. Someone who buys it this year and is hoping it's going to go to the moon in 3 months, they're going to get into trouble if they end up needing the the cash, right? And then they might have to sell it during a dip, etc. But you've got this mentality that's ready to buy the dip, as it's called, and hang on to it for 4 or more years at a time.
like sacrificing sometimes is going to give you a big reward at the end, and immediately satisfactions. I have been there, and I think the reason you have been there is to learn. If you don't learn, you're going to continue in the same cycles, coming all the time and all the time. So for me, it was like I have been time that I don't have any money in my pocket, and I had to get a solution. So don't touch that money. Get a solution for another for another party. Hang it there, because like you're going to resolve the problem anyway. So I just imagine that I don't have that money. This is something that I don't have. I put it there. Like if you get a beer or you get whatever, you spend the money. It's there. It's not coming back in another way. So, but I can hold on here. It's coming back in world later. And also I have other coins, like kind of five more beside Bitcoin, because I
Mm-hmm.
also want to learn a little bit, how it goes. But something that I've been seeing is when Bitcoin is down, everything goes down too. All the
Yeah,
coins go down, down, down.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's
couple two probably not going that down. So I'm observing and say, why these two going don't going down like the other ones?
Mm.
that's one of my favorite things as we've talked to more and more people about their Bitcoin journey. It really does change your relationship with money because to really understand Bitcoin, you have to understand money. You have to understand, to a certain degree, how money works, the differences between different currencies, and the different functions of money. And there are a handful of themes that always come up around this subject. And one of them is the idea of time preference.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Bitcoin specifically does have this impact and effect on people of lowering their time preference. They start to understand that I can forego something today, something that would feel good today, going out and buying this thing or going to the bar or whatever, so that I can make a decision that's going to secure my future tomorrow.
I can identify with that, Chris, because for me, I lived in the land of instant gratification for several decades and
Me
constantly was
too.
looking for that immediate and instant gratification. I mean, in the worst way. And Bitcoin was seriously the first time that I realized hanging in there would pay off. And Bitcoin made me more patient and more able to resist buying little doodads here and little doodads there, because I thought to myself, well, if I can take this $9 and put it into Bitcoin, it could be a lot later. So do you feel like Bitcoin has made you more patient?
But I think every time that you grow up as a human, everything grows inside you. You know, like. But when you keep repeating exactly the same, like saying when you don't feeling well, when you just eating like fast food or whatever, your health is not that good. But when you put the right, nutrients to your body, definitely you get stronger. And anything you do, you want to do more exercise and everything. So also one of the things that comes to help me with this because I get curious to learn more about this movement. So I had to go and listen audios, about the money, audios about like cryptocurrency, and how I has to go and learn, like you're saying, about money since the beginning. It's a transaction at the end because they're giving you money for your time, right? And that's
Mhm.
like that's how being like for decades, gold, salt, many things that will be in exchange. Like for example, they say right, actual salary was coming for the soldiers. They give them a salary was like salt because the food was so insipid, so they pay to the soil with salt. But for India, for example, they don't pay with salt, so that's how the transaction start going. Like for this country can works. So like now I understand like whatever having more Bitcoin now is like where it's going to work better. Probably it's not being for the other countries, but for United States, El Salvador that has, and I don't remember what is the other country that has more Bitcoin, but like people getting all that as a goal as well. So that's what I think. I'm not going to say exactly Bitcoin make me this way, but like I think in general, when you wanna go and learn more, you become a better person um, because you get more knowledge. And
Mhm.
if this Bitcoin, like like that's why I said to people all the time, don't be scared, be adventurous, change the language, because if you say scared, you're going with fear, you're going like not that well. But you're going to jump into the river and you go with as adventure, you don't think it will be alligator or a snake or whatever. You use like the fun of jumping, you know. So I think that's the way we should take things in life. If this is an adventure, what can happen? Nothing. It can happen that I can discover something beautiful, or it was not something for me, but at least I tried. But something that I don't want it to do it tomorrow is like saying like, well, I didn't and I didn't know, how it feels. So what if?
Mhm.
So like,
What
yeah.
I really like about our conversation with you, Renee, is that it makes me feel validated, and here's what I mean by that. We've talked with now. You're the 22nd guest on Sat Chats, and it is remarkable how many people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different experiences, different skill sets, different nationalities, all of it are able to recognize the same thing. I mean, you talked earlier about how there are people who are working so hard and it's not getting them anywhere. There are people who are working hard and they're trying to squirrel away as much cash as possible into a savings account. Even that isn't getting them anywhere. And it just might be that Bitcoin represents a brand new form of money that might actually help all of us get a foothold in this life and start to build wealth, for goodness sakes. So it's just super interesting to see that you're experiencing what I'm experiencing?
I believe like every single person should earn exactly the same. Like because what you're doing is important as what I do, and like that the reason is like too much. Like when saying like people who has to build houses or has to pick the food and the crops, this is an amazing job that they do. Like I love gardening. I have my garden and I plant my food and everything, and it is like really really hard work, and it's no value, but it's no value for these people. And like without them, you're not going to eat, but it's this like putting them like they have no value, but they have a lot of value. So for me, like allowing like this have exactly the same value in every country, uh, for me it's good because everybody should have more time to be free and enjoy life. I'm very against working. Like I don't like to work. I don't think like people like to work. Like I don't think that I come here to this earth to work. I think I come here to enjoy, to dance, to sing, to paint, to do things with family, with friends. You know, and I always trying to say to people like enjoy more your life because at the end you realize one day you didn't anything in your life. You will like be working. I graduated when I was 19 years old. I was working when I was 17 before I graduate, and then I worked for 5 years, and I get my job from the States in Guatemala, and then I get panic because I was working for 5 years, coming from my home to the school, home to school every day, working 2 3 jobs, and then when they said you're going to stay here for 40 years or 20 years working, and then you're going to retire, and I was like, no, thank you. I say I don't want it. I wanna, I have a dream and I have something else. And like somebody told me, well, you're going to lose everything and you're going to end living under the bridge. And so like, okay, I can take it. I will do it, but I prefer to die over there than doing something that I'm not enjoying anymore. And I don't see myself in that position. So
Yeah.
um, I think like that's the invitation, the freedom that this is offering because I like the idea of like don't have all these fees also because I pay so much money into the fees because I always want to be entrepreneur, and I opened like two business before, but because I have no um, I have at that time I didn't have any way to register a company in a different way, and I don't have the money either. So the bank was charging me every time that my that I go below certain kind of money, they would charge me $37, and if I didn't pay the next day, it was $70, and then like, and I had to go to the bank all the time to pay the money, and even doesn't matter what bank I change, I end paying a lot of fees. So what I should be paying a fee for transaction of anything, So that's one of the things that I feel very identified, and I think like I believe in the energy of frequency, and I think we're getting into the new era, and we're getting into the new um, ways to things to see things in life, and I think you have to jump into that and be part of the movement.
That's
So that's
crazy.
what I'm doing.
So there's a lot that you shared right there, and it's making me think over here because I think the first thing you said that was kind of new for me when I was first learning about Bitcoin, Renee, I had to struggle to get to where I could understand things in money terms that weren't US dollar terms. So I went to a gold bug to take him my gold coin because I wanted to sell him my gold coin for cash so that I could buy Bitcoin with that cash. And he was an old guy whose dad had told him to always take the extra amount out of his paycheck and use it to buy gold and silver each paycheck. And he was the first guy who showed me that the value of his silver coin had stayed the same over 60 years because it could buy him the exact same candy bar. Nothing about the candy bar had changed. It still had the same ingredients in it. It was still the same size, still the same amount of calories. Nothing had changed about the silver, still had the same silver content. And this silver coin was still worth that candy bar. But over those 6 decades, the candy bar had gone from 20 cents to $2. So the US, you needed 10 times as much money to buy the same thing, which was, it blew my mind to realize, oh, it's not the candy bar that has changed. It's not the silver that has changed. It's the dollar that has changed. And what you said about a global money and the fact that people are doing the same work worldwide and it has value, but they're not making any money, they're not getting anywhere, that just blew my mind because it finally made me realize that farming in America is the same thing as farming in Latin America or in Asia or in Africa. You're still literally growing food in the earth, and someone needs to go and harvest that. But for whatever reason, all these different nation states that we have, all the different types of money that we have, the different supplies and how they rise and fall against one another, creates a situation where this guy in America is literally pulling a carrot out of the ground with his bare hand, and someone in another country is pulling the exact same carrot out of the ground with their hand, but they make 1/100th of what the guy in America makes. Why? It's the same labor, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
That,
it's about control, right? And like people don't understand the control because people don't observe, and when they start seeing, because before it was even harder, to see. Even for me, it was like um, should be scared of this because there's a lot of information there saying that Bitcoin is for this and for that purpose, and all the cryptocurrency, and some point it's going to fall down, and everybody's going to lose their money and whatever. It's always like something against that whatever like other people saying. But if you get the information and you get the knowledge, you don't have to fear anything because you know what you're doing. But if you don't know, of course you have to. So um, that's what I see. Like people go work very hard every day, like many hours, and they come back home and they just spend the money that they make very like dying, like part of the like of their life in like hard labor day, and that's not my lifestyle. I work like few hours, and I want to enjoy more in my life.
Renee, with Bitcoin, with your journey, and I kind of want to recap it real quick because there's been a lot to digest there, and I think it's really interesting to get your perspective. You grew up in Guatemala. You get to a place where you're studying and working multiple jobs and seeing that there just isn't really anything there for you. You get to the United States, you learn about Bitcoin, you like to take risks, you like to be an artist. You eventually get to a point where you literally have no money and are living in your car, but you're able over time to realize that Bitcoin might be that form of money that's going to be good for you. You know what I mean? So you're willing to put $5, $10, $25, $50 whenever you can and act like it's not there. Even when you get down to your last penny as an artist and you're not sure where that next paycheck is going to come from, you're not dipping into your Bitcoin because it is helping you create some kind of long-term wealth over time. So it sounds like your message to all of the satillionaires out there is don't be scared. Don't consume all the negativity out there in the world that's trying to get your attention. Just get some Bitcoin, man. Just get a little bit of Bitcoin and keep learning, keep teaching yourself as much as possible. So for all our listeners out there, Renee, what do you feel like is your big message about Bitcoin? You know, what do you recommend everyone do, and where do you think Bitcoin is going to take us in the future?
Well, you only have today. And whatever you're going to today is going to change your future. That's what I believe. So I invite everybody to get an account in any platform do you want and get $50. Only that. And if you don't understand anything, you don't have to understand. Don't try to be an expert. Just get a $50. You everybody can afford $50. Put in there.
Yeah. That's amazing. So, Renee's message is don't be scared. Just go get $50 worth of Bitcoin. And if you're scared, just be scared.
Anyway.
$50 worth of Bitcoin. Like, come on, guys, just stack your first sats. And we feel the same way, right? We want everyone out there listening to stack their first sats. And I think a nice goal for our satillionaires out there is to become a satillionaire. Go ahead and stack your first $50 and then set a goal to work your way steadily up to the point where you have 1 million Satoshis by your name. I think that's a nice goal that we can set for everyone out there listening to the show. Become a satillionaire. Let's go.
Yep.
So speaking of stacking up $50 worth of sats, let's see if Renee really feels strongly about this. We're going to make you an offer here on the show. But maybe first we should ask whether or not our guy Renee has ever tried. And you said you're up there in Connecticut, right?
Yes.
Have you ever seen or tried Ithaca hummus?
No. Like
Never heard of it.
no. What is that? Never
So
heard about it.
you're familiar with hummus, the dip.
Yeah.
So Ithaca is a brand. It happens to be a brand that I started 13 years ago in upstate New York at the farmers market in Ithaca. But now it's in probably, where do you shop? I mean, where do you shop there in Connecticut?
There is Food Bazaar.
Yeah, we're in Food Bazaar,
Are you in
Food
Food Bazaar?
Town. Yeah, Stop and Shop,
I
Whole
have my
Food.
app with Food Bazaar.
Yeah.
Well, like it was for some reason I hear, but like the image don't give me that was like something to eat, so I didn't like it looks more like something else.
Well,
Yeah.
this is the Ithaca hummus mascot who has Bitcoin laser eyes that are shooting a chickpea into infinity, because this dude is the absolute man. I like to call him Bonzo. I'm not sure what his name actually is, but I think
It's really good for your body. It's
What's
really
that?
good for you. It's really good for your body. There is like pasta made by Garbanzo now, and you take all these like flours. It's not good for you.
Yeah, so good for you. Next time you're at Food Bazaar, I've literally never heard of that place in my entire life. You can get yourself some Ithaca hummus. So let's make Renee his offer.
All right, Renee. So, as part of the Bitcoin community here, and
We
in
double
order-
it today.
say it.
Yeah, Renee's gonna say double it and give it to the next guest, dude. He's gonna say, "Oh my god!" I remember when that trend was going on.
That was good. Good.
Yeah.
It's too late for us to hop on that, though, right?
Oh, who knows? We'll
All
see.
Well, Renee, we offer each of our guests a small token of appreciation for their time and for coming on and sharing their story with our audience. And we do that by giving you a choice between $50, okay, which I have right here, and we'll have to figure out how to send to you if you if you decide that you want to choose the $50. But we're going to give you what we think is a much better option than that. And we're not trying to bias you or anything. Totally unbiased.
We're just trying to help you, man, because we know which one's the right choice.
So 50 USD or $50 in Satoshis or sats. Right now, the price of one Bitcoin is $97,360. Which converts to a sats per dollar of 1,027 sats per dollar. So 1027 times 50 is 51,350 sats or $50.
So you've got $50, Renee, that'll likely buy you $20 worth of stuff later, or 51,350 sats that you know is going to buy you more than $50 later.
I say I would take both.
Option 3, door number 3.
There have been a couple of people that have tried option. There's been a couple of different option 3s, but we definitely cannot do both because why would we even want that over there anyway?
Okay, you had no that choice. Of course, I will take the not the cash. I'm not taking the cash. Because I would like to keep investing, and I would like to grow my Bitcoin.
Let's go.
Going with the sats.
Picking the sats. High five. Way to go, Renee. High five, dude. Skaboosh. We will be your, Sat Chats will be your $50 Bitcoin buy for February. And then in March, you go get yourself $50 more, right? So we're really happy about that. You are guest number twice 11, right? Number 22, and that brings our score to 20 guests who have picked the sats and 2 that picked cash. So our record is now 20 and 2. I think I'm pretty pumped about that. So for everybody out there listening, if you made it this far, smash the like and subscribe button. Do it 11 times for Renee and leave 11 comments below as well. Help us create this global community. I feel like Aisha and Renee are global artists who realize that Bitcoin's global power is going to create something brand new, something positive, something that's good for you. So help us spread that signal worldwide. We're trying to get to 999 plus 1 subscribers on YouTube. So that we can unlock a live show Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern, where we all jump into the studio. We all chat about sats live together. And we think that that's going to be a really powerful time together. So help us get there as quickly as possible. Renee, if our satillionaires out there want to find you online or take a look at some of your art, where should we send them?
You should send it. Rene Soto Art Gallery is my website.
Okay. So that's RENESOTO artgallery.com.
Yeah. I think it doesn't look good there, but it's renesotoartgallery.com. I just launched my music 2 days ago. It's called La Mejor Historia. And by Rene Soto, you can find Spotify, Pandora, all the iTunes and YouTube. So feel free to give it a try. It's in Spanish, but learn Spanish too, Like, I get a lot of criticisms from my friend who said, like, your English is not that good. And my answer always says, like, I had to learn English because you're not capable to learn Spanish. So don't criticize me,
There you go. There you go. Debemos aprender cómo hablar español. Porque yo creo que un día los Estados Unidos vamos a tener 2 idiomas oficiales. Let's go, bro. Come on now. We global over here. So thanks so much for watching as well. And remember, Sat Chats is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial advice. Also, our guests' views are their own. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you, Renee.